Another day, another Leagues 5 reveal, and today we have the entire teleport relic tier. A few different options from last league, and this time around we have 3 different choices. The first one is almost identical, being Fairy's Flight. When you choose this relic, you get the mushroom, and it allows you to teleport to any fairy ring, spirit tree, or tool leprechaun. And then the final aspect of it is it ignores the wilderness teleport restrictions, but this is also available on any of the 3 options in this tier. Next up we have Bank Heist, and as its name implies, it allows you to teleport to any deposit box, bank, or bank chest. And then lastly, we probably have the most unique, and that is the Clue Compass. This item will allow you to teleport to any stash unit location and Phalo the Bard, but it also has the ability to teleport you to your current clue step. One side note is it doesn't allow you to teleport to steps that require you to kill an NPC, but nonetheless, those are our 3 choices for what is most likely going to be the Tier 2 relics. If we compare it to last league in Trailblazer Reloaded, we only had 2 options, being Fairy's Flight, which worked basically identical to what it's going to work in Leagues 5, and then the secondary option was Globetrotter. And Globetrotter gave you a pendant that allows you to use any of the ornate jewelry box locations, or any teleport spell location on any spellbook. Now I'm very interested to see this time around how hotly debated the teleport relics are going to be. Personally, out of just the initial reaction, I think the clear loser in terms of the strength of all 3 of them is the Bank Heist. I'll throw all of these resources down in the description below, but if we hop over, there is a Bank Heist tab where you can sort it by region and see access to all of the teleports you would have to what bank chest in the regions you are picking. Now Bank Heist could be a little stronger depending on if we got something like Last Recall back, and how strong it actually would be, but it would be a very easy thing to pair with Bank Heist because it would be directly taking you to a bank and you could just teleport back to whatever content you were doing. But other than that, Bank Heist clearly sticks out as being the worst of the 3, considering that a majority of content isn't located directly adjacent to a bank. And while it definitely would be convenient to be able to teleport directly to a bank, there are plenty of other options from the other 2 that will teleport you so close it wouldn't really be relevant. Now don't get it twisted, I don't think Bank Heist is terrible by any means. And in the grand scheme of things, teleport relics don't really make that big of a difference in the end. It's all about convenience and what routes and stuff you really want to do. Now if we jump over to Fairy's Flight, which was probably the more popular and I think overall better pick from last league, combining both the tool leprechauns with any of the fairy ring locations in the game, ultimately turns this into having access to a ton of different regions and locations. And if we scroll down on this map, you can actually interactively see just how many locations you would have access to with Fairy's Flight. There are a few down here in Varlamore that just don't happen to be marked. But overall, Fairy's Flight is incredibly strong in itself and has plenty of use and could be highly efficient depending on what regions you pick. Even with that though, I think there is going to be a clear winner for this league. One, judging off the list, it offers just an incredible amount of different teleports. Much more than I realized just off of the top of my head when I first saw it get announced. Just the sheer amount of teleports that are already on this list with the amount you can still scroll up and down. Yes, you do have to take into account there are definitely going to be ones like Lumbridge up here where there's a bunch kind of stocked close together. But then you also have ones like Pyramid Plunder, Shiloh Village, the Slayer Tower, Mount Carom, Mudskipper Point, Port Sarim. It takes both what you have with each of the previous 2 relics with just being access to everywhere all over the game. But then on top of that, it adds the actual insane utility of being able to teleport to a bunch of different current clue steps. I also think there's going to be a niche amount of different activities you can actually use that to your advantage. For example, if you take a step like this, we're at the Soul Altar northeast of the Arceus Essence Mine. To rather than spend all the extra time running back and forth, just teleport yourself straight back to the Essence Mine. And for all we know, there is already a built-in delay where this isn't necessarily possible or any other method in relation to using this mechanic. You could have a couple minute delay or whatever already built in so you couldn't teleport back and forth quickly. But even if that is the case, just the outright utility of being able to teleport to clue steps around the game. Clue scrolls tend to be a ton of different tasks and point milestones in leagues. And if any of these 3 options have the most utility in-game outside of just getting some extra efficient farm runs, the Clue Compass seems like a clear-cut winner in terms of speeding up a bunch of different tasks and offering way more efficient points. Personally, this is the route I'm kind of leaning right now. If I did go any other route, it would be Fairy's Flight. But knowing what I know now, if I had to pick right this minute, I would definitely be going with Clue Compass. With that said, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the description below. If you did enjoy the video or found it helpful, consider dropping a like, and I will catch you guys in the next one.